Hello, welcome. I'm Daniel Choy for Arirang News. Let's start with our first story. Our focus is on North Korea. As we did yesterday, North Korea appears to be advancing its ballistic missile capabilities. It test-fired a submarine-launched ballistic missile on Saturday and sent 3 anti-ship cruise missiles into the East Sea. Our Hyun-bin shares what experts are saying about how the communist regime is moving closer to perfecting the weaponry and what kind of threat it will pose to Seoul and Washington.
In recent years, North Korea has proven its intercontinental ballistic missile capabilities through numerous test firings, and experts believe the missiles could even reach the west coast of the United States. On top of that, Pyongyang is coming close to miniaturizing a nuclear warhead that could be mounted on top of a ballistic missile. Now, North Korea has taken the threat to a whole new level by developing ballistic missiles that can be fired from submarines. If that becomes a reality, the communist regime could enter U.S. waters covertly and target key military facilities on the U.S. mainland. Unlike intercontinental ballistic missiles, submarine-launched ballistic missiles are much more difficult to detect.
Submarines are not detected on radar and can only be detected via sound waves underwater, so our current missile defense system will not be able to detect.
On Saturday, North Korea claimed that it has successfully carried out an underwater test fire of a submarine-launched ballistic missile. If confirmed, it will be the country's first test fire of a ballistic missile from a submarine. Experts believe it's only a matter of time before the North perfects the technology. Later in the day, the South reported Pyongyang had fired 3 anti-ship cruise missiles into the sea off its east coast. After the test firings, the U.S. said launches using ballistic missile technology are a clear violation of multiple UN Security Council resolutions, and warned that the North submarine-launched ballistic missiles could represent a fresh threat to the security of the Korean Peninsula. Hyun-bin, Arirang News.
In addition to boosting its missile technology, it appears that North Korea has significantly beefed up its cyber warfare capabilities as well. A South Korean military official told local media on Sunday Pyongyang has a total of 6,800 hackers, including 1,700 experts and 5,100 support staff assigned to hacking and other cyber provocations. That's 900 more than what Seoul's military cyber command reported to the National Assembly in October. The communist regime is believed to have hacked into South Korea's nuclear power plants in December, leaking key information. The regime is also accused of hacking into Sony Pictures last November over its satirical comedy, The Interview, which depicts a fictional plot to assassinate North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. To better counter Pyongyang, the South Korean military plans to increase its current cyber warfare team from 600 to 1,000. Russia held a massive parade on Saturday to mark the 70th anniversary of the Soviet Union's victory over Nazi Germany during the Second World War. Many foreign dignitaries were present, but Western leaders stayed away. Our Shin Se-min tells us why.
Hundreds of troops, tanks, and missile systems roll down the streets of Moscow to commemorate the 70th anniversary of the Soviet Union's victory over Nazi Germany during World War II.
In the 1930s, an enlightened Europe did not see a deadly threat from the Nazi ideology from the very beginning. And now, 70 years later, history is again appealing to our minds and to our vigilance.
President Vladimir Putin hosted 20 leaders, including UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon and Chinese President Xi Jinping. But many Western leaders, including U.S. President Barack Obama and the leaders of Germany and the UK, boycotted the event. The ceremony comes at a time when Russia's relations with Western countries are at lows not seen since the Cold War. Russia's annexation of Crimea last March and its involvement in eastern Ukraine has enraged Western leaders, casting a long shadow over their relations with Russia. Despite the absence of the Western leaders, Putin hosted a reception in the Kremlin for veterans and foreign leaders. The Victory Day parade marks a day on May 9th in 1945 when Nazi Germany surrendered to the former Soviet Union, bringing an end to the war in Europe. Shin Se-min, Arirang News.
Staying with Russia, Seoul Special Envoy Yoon Sang-hyun was also in Moscow to attend the ceremony where he met with North Korea's ceremonial head of state, Kim Yong-nam, who attended the event on behalf of leader Kim Jong-un. Government sources say Yoon and Kim discussed a variety of pending issues related to the 70th anniversary of Korea's independence from the Japanese colonial rule in 1945, that is. Their discussions reportedly included the possibility of an inter-Korean summit to alleviate the strained ties between the two Koreas. More details will be known once Yoon returns from Russia on Tuesday. 2 Japanese destroyers arrived in Manila, Philippines on Saturday to prepare for an exercise with the Philippine Navy in the West Philippine Sea. On Tuesday, the Japanese ships will take part in a passing exercise in waters between Manila and Subic Bay with the Philippine Navy ship VRP Ramon Alcarez. The 2 navies will be conducting various drills, including on-ship helicopter operations. Asked if the country's maritime dispute with China will be discussed, Commander Luit Linquina, the Philippine Navy's Public Affairs Director, said discussions are likely to focus on tactical matters. The Philippines, China, and 4 other countries, Taiwan, Malaysia, Brunei, and Vietnam, are in an ongoing territorial row over the Spratly Islands in the South China Sea. Japan is also locked in a territorial dispute with China over the Senkaku or Diaoyu Islands in the East China Sea. The presidential office of Chang Wha-dae has urged passage of a controversial bill to reform the public employees' pension system during a 1-month extraordinary National Assembly session set to open this week. Chief Presidential Press Secretary Kim Sung-woo said in a briefing Sunday that it welcomes the extraordinary session, but that the pension reform bill should be the top priority. Kim also said the bill should not be linked to efforts to reform the national pension system. The country's 2 main rival parties have been wrangling over the public servant pension plan, which is expected to dominate the upcoming session that starts Monday. Korea Fair Trade Commission is set to make it mandatory for organizations to make the results of regular safety checks available online. Yonhap News Agency reports on Sunday that the country's antitrust regulator is set to impose around $90,000 in fines for a failure to do so. The requirement applies to places where safety should be the priority, including the service sector and facilities management, sports complexes, and the aviation and transportation industry. This comes after Korea's public safety policies came into question following last year's tragic Seoul ferry disaster, a roof collapse at a resort in February, and last month's Asiana Airlines crash landing at Hiroshima Airport, Japan. Korea's tax revenue from tobacco sales has risen rapidly in the first 4 months of this year from last year. The government raised cigarette prices by more than 60% on January 1st to 4,500 won, or around $4 per pack. That month, cigarette sales dropped by more than half to 180 million packs from 400 million in December. Then, sales rose to 250 million in March and to 300 million in April. The price hike and the gradual rebound in cigarette sales worked to increase the tax revenue from tobacco sales. The amount of tax revenue from cigarette sales was about 600 billion won more, or around $551 million more in the January to April period this year than a year ago. And now the weather. Summer is just around the corner here in Korea, meaning sun, the beach, and swimsuits, and a rush to get into better shape. To give you a helping hand, our Connie Kim offers some tips from a best-selling cookbook that will help you eat well and slim down.
Eating right can help you lose weight and gain energy, but it's often difficult to know where to start. Scottish nutritionist Gillian McKeith, in her best-selling You Are What You Eat cookbook, offers some tips for simple changes readers can make that'll begin to take effect almost immediately. The book, based on her hit BBC show of the same name, features over 200 recipes and includes a list of 7 foods that can help readers lose belly fat. From bottom to top, here you go. Number 7 is chicory, a leafy vegetable usually found in salads. Next is parsley, which is said to have a diuretic effect, and pineapple, said to help with digestion. Fourth on the list is bananas, which balance the sodium in the body and prevent gas from building up in the stomach. Brown rice and mixed grains, both high in fiber, tied for third. At number 2 is ginger, said to help with digestion. Though it may not be something you eat on a daily basis, you can slice it up and add a little honey and hot water for a nice warm cup of ginger tea. Curious about what's first on the list? Warm water, which stokes metabolism and increases food absorption. It also reduces gas and bloating. So ditch the ice water and keep some warm water on hand and be sure to drink plenty of it. Healthy eating isn't the only ingredient for weight loss and living well. Trainers say regular exercise is essential for both. Connie Kim, Arirang News.
Warm water and plenty of exercise it is. Moving on to the arts realm, on Saturday, Im Hung-sun upped the ante for his fellow artists at home by bagging the highest award ever received by a South Korean artist. According to Arts Council Korea, the 46-year-old won the Silver Lion for a promising young artist at the 56th Venice Biennale for his 95-minute film that touches on labor issues. The piece, titled Factory Complex, shows the unreasonable working conditions for women in Korea, Vietnam, Cambodia, and other Asian countries. The Golden Lion for the Best Artist went to American-born Berlin-based artist Adrian Piper for a conceptual art piece that focuses on personal responsibility. Moving on to weather, the weekend was full of sunny skies and warm temperatures that were perfect for outings, but that's all about to gradually change. On Monday evening, we'll have showers nationwide with up to 20 millimeters of rain expected per hour on Jeju and the surrounding areas. And now let's check out the weather conditions outside of Korea around the world. We've come to the end of our newscast, but we have more coming up at 10 p.m. Korea time, so do join us then. For now, thank you for watching.